There is a kind of tiredness that doesn't come from doing too much. It comes from being available for too long. Always reachable, always responsive, always slightly on. Even when nothing urgent is happening, your system stays alert. Not anxious, not panicked, just quietly braced, as if something might be required at any moment. This is the fatigue many people feel now. Not exhaustion from effort, but depletion from constant readiness. You may notice it when the day ends and your body finally pauses. Yet the sense of internal movement doesn't slow at the same pace. The room grows quiet, but something inside continues scanning. The mind stops working on tasks, but attention doesn't fully settle. Rest arrives. Relief does not always follow. This is not because you are doing rest incorrectly, and it is not because you need to try harder to relax. Modern life trains the nervous system to remain engaged even in the absence of demand. Signals arrive without pause. Transitions blur. Availability becomes a baseline rather than a choice. Over time, the system forgets how to stand down on its own. Nothing here is meant to correct that. There is no suggestion to disconnect, no advice to regulate, no invitation to reach a different state. This space does not ask anything of you. Simply notice that you are already here. The body is already breathing. The ground is already holding weight. The moment is already occurring without effort. Without changing anything, you may begin to sense how readiness has been living in the background. Not as tension you can easily locate, more like a subtle leaning forward, a quiet preparedness that never quite turns off. This leaning becomes so familiar that it often goes unnoticed, like a low hum that blends into daily life. There is no need to turn it off. There is nothing you need to release. Only a gentle awareness of how much effort has been operating beneath the surface, and how little effort is required right now. The body knows how to settle when it is no longer being asked to perform. Not by instruction, not by force, by absence of demand. You may become aware of where you are supported, the surface beneath you, the structure that has been carrying weight continuously without comment. Even if posture remains the same, the sense of being held may register more clearly. Not dramatically, quietly. Thoughts may continue. That does not interfere. The nervous system does not require silence to rest. As attention no longer needs to stay outward-facing, something else begins to make itself known. Not a sensation that calls for focus, not a feeling that demands interpretation. More like space, already present, now unoccupied. This space does not arrive as an experience. It was here before experience began. Awareness does not need to move toward it. It does not need to search. It notices itself. There is a difference between paying attention and being held by attention. Here, that difference may become clear without explanation. Attention no longer feels like an effort you are sustaining. It feels more like something that is already supporting the moment. The sense of having to monitor softens on its own. Scanning loses relevance. Nothing is being missed. Even activity can be held inside this steadiness. Even thought. Even anticipation. This is not disengagement. It is containment. Experience moves, but something does not move with it. You do not need to understand this. Understanding would add movement where none is required. Simply notice that there is a background that does not change while foreground activity continues. Breath moves without instruction. Sound arrives and passes. Thoughts complete themselves and dissolve. Nothing here needs management. The system begins to recognize that it does not need to stay ready when there is nothing to respond to. Readiness relaxes, not because it was forced, but because it was no longer needed. This is not a technique. It is a natural response to safety. Safety here does not mean comfort. It means absence of demand. When nothing is being asked of you, the system reorganizes itself. Awareness does not contract around experience. It allows experience to move within it. Even restlessness fits here. Even uncertainty. There is room. At some point, not suddenly, not dramatically, the center of gravity shifts. Not as an insight you can point to, not as a moment that announces itself, more like a quiet rebalancing. Effort steps back. Support steps forward. Nothing new appears. Nothing disappears. Yet the way the moment is held changes. Attention no longer feels like something you are directing. It feels like something you are resting in. The need to stay prepared loosens. The background hum fades without being silenced. This is not because the world has changed. It is because the system no longer needs to anticipate it. This steadiness is not fragile. It does not require isolation. It does not collapse when thought resumes. It is not dependent on stillness. As time continues, sensation may become clearer. The body may adjust. The environment may return to focus. This quiet alignment does not retreat. It moves with you. You do not need to take it anywhere. You do not need to remember it later. Continuity happens naturally when nothing interferes. There is nowhere to leave and nowhere to return to. What is present here is not a state. It is not an experience that must be maintained. It is the way awareness organizes itself when it is no longer required to manage life. As attention opens back toward the world, this steadiness remains. Conversation may follow. Movement may resume. Tasks may reappear. None of this disturbs what has already settled. There is no need to hold on to this. Holding would only recreate effort. Let the moment complete itself, and allow whatever comes next, action, rest, interaction, decision, to arise from this same quiet center, without naming it, without protecting it, without needing to return.